How about if I told you there was one tiny change that you could make to your teaching that would make an enormous difference to your confidence in the classroom, to your ability to teach well and to engage your learners, and to their ability to understand and to process information and to get more involved? What if I also told you this requires no additional training and it's super easy to implement? I bet you're intrigued now, aren't you? Well, keep watching and I'll tell you what it is. I'm Joga Conga. I'm a teacher educator, CELTA trainer and assessor, and I make videos for trainees, novices and teachers a bit further down the road at elttraining.com. This magic addition to your classroom is very simple. I want you to try it out in your very next class. I'm going to tell you what the advantages of it are, and I'd like you to see if you can guess what it is. I promise I'll tell you at the end. So, here we go. There's good research evidence that doing this will increase the length and correctness of your learners' responses. It'll also increase the number of answers that your learners volunteer, and it'll mean that more of your learners will attempt to answer the questions that you ask, even the shy ones. If you do this, there's even evidence that it will increase their test scores. This little change isn't only beneficial for the learners either. When teachers do this, they tend to ask questions that are more varied and that are more flexible, and that ones that require their learners to process information better and to use higher level thinking skills. Basically, it helps you as a teacher to ask better questions. The magic formula? All you have to do is wait. For 3 seconds. That's it. That seems like an awful lot of benefit for one small change, doesn't it? But there's a lot of classroom research evidence from a wide range of contexts over the last 50 years that bears this out. Sometimes it's called wait time, sometimes it's called think time, but basically it's the same thing. In either case, the practicality is that you wait and allow a bit of space in the classroom for 3 to 5 seconds. Now, if you think about it, it's not that surprising that this is effective. As a teacher, and I hold my hand up here, we tend to be very quick to supply answers to our learners. We want to help. Now, sometimes this, of course, is really useful, but often if we give the learners a bit more chance to think and process things, they can work it out for themselves. This is especially true, I think, in language classrooms, and particularly at lower levels. They need time to let things sink in. They need time to process it, and they need time to formulate something so that they can produce some output. So just stop. Pause. Take a breath. Count to 3. So when might it be useful to wait? Here are a few ideas to start you off, but this isn't an exhaustive list or anything. The first one is after you ask a question. So don't be too quick to jump in. If there's a bit of silence, don't be too quick to rephrase the question and ask it again. Just wait for 3 seconds. See what happens. The next one is when the learners are answering and maybe they stumble. It's easy to interrupt, It's easy to try to complete their sentence for them, easy to try to help them. Don't. Just wait 3 seconds and see what happens. Number 3 is after a learner has given an answer. Pause here. Give a chance for other learners, other people in the class, to volunteer their reactions or their answers or their comments. If you've never done this before, you might end up with a bit of awkward silence here, but over time learners will realise that it's okay, if not probably expected, for them to join in a bit here, and there's more of a chance there for communication, which is always a good thing. 4th one is during a teacher presentation. So if you've given them some information, particularly if that's something that's written on a board, then you might want to give them a little bit of time just to look at it and process it and make sure they understand. 3 seconds of think time without any questions, and then use questions to check that they've understood. Next is if you're in a situation where you need to think. Maybe someone just asked you a really good question. Maybe some language has come up in the classroom that you weren't expecting. It's okay to pause. Give yourself a moment. Your explanations will be clearer afterwards because of it. It's okay for the learners to know that you have to think about things too. Finally, you might want to use the pause to create a mood in class, to generate anticipation, expectation, uncertainty. You might want to pose a rhetorical question and let them mull over it for a few seconds. Silence can be a really powerful tool here. So try it in your next class and see what the effect is at different times of your lesson. It's a really easy addition to your teacher's toolkit, and you might find it surprisingly effective. I hope this was helpful whatever stage of teaching you're at, and if you'd like more teaching tips, then please like and subscribe and check out my website. See you soon for more.